You're now watching Winter Nightwolf Live, a Cliffside production.
OCO and greetings. I'm Winter Nightwolf, and this is Winter Nightwolf Live. I'm sitting here with a very good friend of mine for more than 25 years. His name is Sammy Blackbear.
Hi.
And Sammy is a member of the Goshute Nation, the Skull Valley Goshute Nation of Utah. We've been friends for quite a few years now.
25, 27 years. Yes.
Okay. Still doesn't remember when he was out here the last time and drove the Tahoe that I had. He don't remember. But anyway, how you doing, Sammy?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Is there anything else you want to add to who you are?
Well, I am a general council member of Skull Valley Band of Goshutes. And at least in our tribe, that is the governing body, just to let you know that up front.
Okay. So, Sammy, you guys just went to court back in, what was it, March?
No, we was in court around December of 2021.
Okay. And what was the reason for going to court?
Well, it's because the tribe asked Candace Bear in May, June for documents, financial records, financial dealings, financial business dealings, and we gave her an ultimatum. And I mean, we, the general council, stated, and it was very simple, we would like to see these documents. And if you don't show us, the tribe will have no choice but to impose some penalties. And they were given a list of those, and they chose to ignore them. And so the tribe instead took action, and the resolutions that were presented to the Skull Valley Band went from nothing to be done, or probation, or being banned from the tribe, or disenrolled from the tribe. And after going back and forth and talking with tribal members, these papers were also sent out to tribal members that were out of the state, off the reservation, and they were signed according to our tribal tradition, customs, policies, and procedures. So we did follow our rules, and the tribe ended up disenrolling Candace Bear. Dwayne Wash, he was banned for 2 years, and Sheila Urias was disenrolled. Now, with the papers that they had received from the tribe, they can also appeal that decision. They instead decided to bypass the appeal position, bypass the resolutions that was set before them, and go straight to a judge or a magistrate, Marcia Harlan. And that's why we're here having this discussion today.
Okay. Now, Sammy, before we go any further, I want to apologize to our viewers. We had a bit of technical difficulty getting into this, but now that we're here, we're going to continue the show. So, Sammy, if Candace Blackbear or Candace Bear was disenrolled, how did she become the tribal chairwoman?
And that's why we have this order, and that's why I thought you were going to read some of this, but that's okay. That's why they chose to use a magistrate, and that magistrate in this order that Jay was reading, they had this magistrate reverse that tribal resolution, to reverse our customs, traditions, to reverse our policies and procedures, and put them not only back into the tribe, but they use this magistrate to overturn the tribe's decisions and put them back into office. Now,
that's like a question of your sovereignty and everything else. How can this magistrate, it's not in her purview or in her responsibility, nor is she qualified to do this? How did this happen?
She at this order to show cause, or this preliminary injunction, Marcia Harlan, magistrate, told the tribe that she tells us our customs and traditions. She tells us our policies and procedures. She tells us about which resolutions are good and no good. So therefore, she did away with our sovereignty. Now, we are a federally recognized tribe. We do have a treaty. And so what she did is reversed all of those decisions and bypassed our sovereignty. So she did away with our sovereignty so she can do what she did in this order.
But nobody can take your sovereignty from you other than the United States Congress, right?
That's correct. And at that court hearing, she was literally yelling at us. She put me in handcuffs, and I was supposed to present because I answered the order. I was the only one that answered the order at that time. She did not give me a chance to present my motion to dismiss or to have it continued. So by putting me in handcuffs, she literally stopped me from presenting my motion, which is illegal. She cannot do that. And so she knew she was out of place. She knew what she was doing was wrong. The tribal members were telling her, "You cannot tell us what our traditions are." And then she would yell at us and threaten us to put us in jail while this was happening. And so it was a mess. And that's why we are still in court. And I appealed all of those decisions. And there are many here, and I hope we can get through them. But it's something that I felt that we had to do, because the scary part about what is going on is the precedent that is being set, because we are a small Indian reservation. And if they can do this to us, they'll do it to you people, and they'll do it to the larger reservation, because the precedent is been set, or it's being set. So what I'm trying to do is say no, because I know the implications of what can happen. And yeah, we're not going to stop. We're just getting started here in court.
Okay, so she tried to overturn members of the tribe that had been dismissed from the tribe or kicked out of the tribe. She did that. Also, it says here, it is further ordered, adjudged, and decreed the defendants and any other party shall not interfere with the Skull Valley Band of Goshute Indians government, business enterprises or activities, including but not limited to going to governments, business, or financial institutions, and purporting to represent the Skull Valley Band of Goshute Indians, the General Council, the Executive Committee, and any other position of authority to a tribal enterprise. Tell me about that.
In our resolution, we have a revision 7908 that says that the Executive Committee cannot talk to any business, corporations, attorneys, no one, without the General Council's permission. That is our law.
That's in your Constitution, right?
No, that's in our law.
Okay.
And so what she did is she did away with our laws, and she imposed her law. And so, but keep in mind, these people have been disenrolled. They do not belong on our reservation. And yet she's telling them that they have full authority. Now, an executive committee, they do not set law in Skull Valley. It's the general council, it's the people who set law. And so what this judge did is she reversed it and added that only Candace Bear, Dwayne Wash, Sheila Urias, and the judge have the authority in Skull Valley.
What about the other tribal members?
She did away with them. And so what she did is she put a restraining order on the whole tribe.
On the whole
tribe? On the whole tribe. No one was notified. We were not notified. We were not giving any paperwork. And so we were literally, we were not served. And so we found this out. We were like, no, wait a minute. You cannot put a restraining order on the whole tribe. You have to serve them personally. You have to serve everybody in that tribe and say, look, we put a restraining order on you. And not only that, once we get into this, she put a restraining order on our elections. She's saying we can't have an election without her approval, the judge or this magistrate. And
she doesn't have that kind of power.
We have shown in my paperwork, we are in the appeals court, but we did show the laws, the CF court laws that says the judge, the CFR courts have no authority over a tribe. That's an intertribal matter.
And stay out of it.
And they cannot interfere in elections. So she went far beyond that.
Okay, let me back up for a minute. You have the Skull Valley Band of Goshute Indians have a treaty with the U.S. government, right?
Yes, our treaty was signed by Abraham Lincoln.
Okay. Treaties are the supreme law of the land. And nobody, I don't care who you are, you don't have a right to come into a tribe and change those treaties or take away your sovereignty.
Well, for what she did, she said that she is the law and that she tells us our customs and traditions, policies, and procedures. And so the thing is we are now having to fight for our own rights. Instead of sticking up for our rights, now we're at the point where we have to fight for our rights. And yes, we will. We're not done here. And because I know the implications, I know what they're doing to us, they can do to other tribes all across America.
So you are now in the appellate court or the
appeals court, correct.
Right. Should that not work out, can you go to a higher court?
Yes, we can. We can go to a federal court. Money does rear up its ugly head. And so we could literally go into a federal court right now, but money is an issue. So instead we have to
take
steps, one step at a time. And I believe in a legal term, we have to exhaust all our administrative procedures.
Okay, now I have another question. I'm looking at this order that she wrote. And she's ordered that Candace Bear, Dwayne Wash, Sheila Urias shall be permitted to utilize tribal funds to pay for and transact all tribal business as provided for under the FY 2019-2020 budget. So that means that they got control of the tribe's money.
In our tribe, you have to pass a budget. And she has not had a budget passed since she's taken control of the tribe. As a matter of fact, last year she was caught forging tribal names. And she forged about 9 of my family members' names so she can get a budget passed. And she was caught. And that was even presented to the judge. Judge didn't want to hear it. And so without that approved budget, no executive committee can spend money. But they're doing it anyway because this judge just said they can. Keep in mind, they've been disenrolled. And the judge gave them all of our business transactions and gave them all the tribe's money, which is millions.
Okay. So it seems apparent that there's some shady stuff going on here. And I've heard other Goshutes mention that Candace Bear is not really a Goshute, but a Shoshone. Is there any proof to that?
Well, you know, we've been asking that question for many, many years from her father and her grandfather, because I know them both very well. But, you know, it always gets brushed under the table or under the rug. Mm-hmm. And those type of answers usually never get answered. And the tribe has demanded it. We want to see your Goshute blood, because you're tearing our tribe apart from within. And why are you doing that? And the only conclusion we could come up with is it's easy to tear apart a tribe you're really not affiliated with. But again, that could be conjecture. I'm not really going to go into too much of that, because according, you know, it could be hearsay. So I just want to stick on this order for right now.
Seems apparent that Candace Bear and the judge are in a league together. Okay. My next question. Is the BIA, the Bureau of Indian Affairs, involved in this at all?
They are. And we have sent documents after documents to the Bureau of Indian Affairs and the Department of Interior and the area director in Phoenix. And they say to us that it's an intertribal matter. You people need to take care of it yourselves. We did. We had resolutions signed. These people were disenrolled and banned from the tribe. So they say, take care of this situation. But when we do, the Bureau of Indian Affairs and the Department of Interior step in and say, no, your laws don't count. Our laws count. Put them back into office and then tell us, you people need to take care of your own problems. And so they're manipulating in the background, and then they come back with the same old story we've heard since I was young. So it's just a circle that keeps coming around and around.
What do you think is behind all of this, Sammy?
Money. We've also proven that there are thousands, tens of thousands, 100,000 and more of federal grant monies that are being misspent. And we want to look into those. We've even asked for a forensic audit. And the Bureau of Indian Affairs told our tribe that Candace and them, her regime, can audit themselves. And we're like, you have got to be kidding me. So the Bureau of Indian Affairs are saying they can audit themselves, and they know that these people have been disenrolled, but it's okay if they take control of our money, our finances, businesses, etc.
Do you think, Sammy, that the federal government has a vested interest in your tribal land? You know, is that a consideration?
Not from us for right now, because we are out into the West Desert. Right now, and from what I've seen since I was young, is let's keep these tribes fighting amongst themselves. Let's keep these tribes poor. Let's not let them be self-sufficient. Let's manipulate, let's cause trouble, let's put in people that shouldn't be in there. And they've been getting away with it for far too long. And so with what we're doing in court, with what we're doing, it's been filed, enough's enough. And so if it's us, a small tribe in Utah, has to set things right, then so be it.
Sammy, you know, this Candace Bear kind of rings a bell with me. Is she related to the former tribal chairman, Leon Bear?
That's his daughter.
Oh, God.
And we all know what happened there with the nuclear waste and the high-level nuclear waste. So
well, I wish you would inform the audience as to what happened there.
Well,
and what happened to you?
The same issue arose again. Leon Bear was removed, and myself and another gentleman was put into office. The superintendent stated to the area director and to the Secretary of Interior that he was at that election and there were not enough voters. So when we presented the Bureau of Indian Affairs with proof, the ballots, we had it videotaped. We had the election papers. And once that all came forward, he said, no, I was not at that election, but the damage was already done. And so therefore, it was an issue that I had to deal with personally. And it had to do with money, of course, because we did go in and freeze those accounts. But something told me, you know what, we cannot let that nuclear waste come to our reservation. And so a lot of people ask me, they said, you know what, Sammy, would you do that again because you got in trouble with the law? Yes, I would, because our land and our people is more important. And I'm sorry, but in something like that, there are people that have to lose. I was one of them, but it was worth it.
So this type of stuff has been going on for centuries with tribes. Keeping tribes disoriented, keeping them mad at each other.
Conquer and divide.
Yeah. Do you feel that Leon Bear, her father, was getting paid off for trying to do that?
Well, let's just put it this way. When he started bringing new things to his home, new cars, new trucks, going on vacations, you know, I think that spoke for itself. The nuclear issue is not back in Skull Valley. There was a chairman a while back in 2013 that was talking about bringing them back, but the tribe said no. And so as far as I know, they are hopefully not coming back, but who knows? Because we are not being told what's going on.
Who are those guys?
That's Leon Bear, and I do not know who that other guy is.
Oh, okay. So where's Leon Bear now?
He had passed away. I don't want to give him a bad name. That's not what I do. Mm-hmm. He did pass away with some health issues, and we thought his daughter would do a good job. I'll admit that. But when money starts coming in, you know what?
Money changes things.
Yes, and so you know we're going to see this through. You know, we're going to keep fighting, and I know this is not really into Indian country right now. It should be, because what happens to us is going to happen to you if it hasn't already. We have not really went out into the public. That's why I thank Jay for giving me this opportunity to let you folks know what's going on, at least on our reservation. Mm-hmm. The corruption from the Department of Interior, the corruption from the courts. It's very bad, but it's a fight that's worth fighting. And yes, I will see it through.
You know, there was another tribal fight that I got into years back when the then tribal chairman of the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma had gone to their money-making casino to get money to fight against the freedmen. And as you and I both know, whether you're Cherokee freedmen, Muskogee Creek freedmen, or whatever kind of freedmen, those are the Indians that have black blood. and I got in the middle of that fight. And when they came to Washington, I took Marilyn Van, who was the chairman of the Cherokee Freedmen Association, directly to Capitol Hill. The Black Caucus got involved, and it took a few years, but that got resolved. And I made a promise to that chairman that if he ran again, I promised him that he would not win. And that's what I did. I saw to it that he didn't win. Every member of that tribe got in touch with them and told them what was going on. And a lot of those tribal members, Sammy, they had relatives with black blood. So, regardless of what your blood makeup is, if you are in a tribe and you have that tribe's blood, even though you have another blood, other bloods in you, you are still a member of the tribe. That's family. So he just got himself into a world of trouble with me because I couldn't stand by and watch something like this happen to good people that have been in the tribe for centuries. And this fight that you're having, I'm in.
You know that. But I'll tell you what, with what the BIA is doing in the courts, every time we would resolve these issues, they would say you need to go to the area director, which ours is in Phoenix. And they would send me to the office of oh goodness gracious, the office of oh wow.
So they were giving you the proverbial.
Well, it's an office that deals with tribal issues. So I sent them probably about 2 4-inch binders of what's going on, the corruption, proving the corruption, showing the corruption, showing the mismanagement of money. Federal grant money was being mismanaged. And come to find out, the lady that was in that office is also the magistrate's secretary. And we're like, wow, that's a conflict of interest. And she needed to recuse herself. So they're telling us to go to this lady of government operations. I'm sorry, that's it. Government operations in Phoenix, Arizona. So the lady there was her clerk. And so you can see why we're just banging our head against the wall, because we're just getting the runaround. All of the research, all of the documents that I did, which was thousands of hours, went to probably to level out somebody's desk, because it was not even heard of and it wasn't even looked into.
Okay.
So thousands of hours of research, it was almost for naught.
Okay. I think I may have an avenue for you. Joe Biden takes over as the president of the United States in a very short time. He is already vetted and is going to make Deb Haaland, who is a congresswoman, and she's also Native. She's going to be the new Secretary of Interior. Now, she'll be the first Native to be a Secretary of Interior. And I'm really thinking that there's some hope with that. I know of her. I know people that know her, and they say she's a very straight up, fair woman. And she holds the tribal people's interest at heart. So what do you think about letting her know?
Well, talking with other tribes, and we are the 5 tribes of Utah, one of them. And corruption is going rampant across the United States. And to have one person look at all of the corruption going on, I guess the only thing, to be honest with you folks, is I've got to wait and see. We have a very delicate issue right here, and we are a small tribe, and right now everybody's stuff is kind of being backed up because of the COVID.
Yeah.
So to have somebody that important, that up into the government structure, I highly doubt it because
Would you
she's
allow-
going to have her desk full.
Would you allow me to work my magic?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know, the more help we can get, the merrier. We are trying our hardest. The COVID does have everything backed up, the appeals court backed up.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind, you know, if things, we can go into a federal court, but they're backed up too. Money is an issue. That's okay. You know, we'll do what we can. We feel our case going into the appeals is slam dunk. We've proved we've shown in our case all the laws this magistrate broke. She broke her own laws. We found the laws. We found the documents. That was all presented in our appeals. And so we feel very confident in what we've done. We've done our homework. We've crossed our T's and dotted our I's. And and I provided all the documents, all of the tribal documents. I've a lot of reading, a lot of studying. I know our resolutions very well, and so it's been an uphill battle because again we're battling with the Department of Interior, the Bureau of Indian Affairs, we're even battling with the Bureau of Indian Affairs police because we had a BIA police officer tell tribal members that they could not disenroll Candace. They cannot remove her from office. A BIA police came up and told me that and several other tribal members.
Who has no jurisdiction.
It's highly illegal for him to do that. And so we reported him. Nothing happened to him, of course.
Do you have an attorney?
Yes, we do. Well, yes and no. Attorneys are giving us their legal stuff, and I really don't want to get into that because that's a touchy subject. I can't get into.
All right.
I'm not supposed to get into.
Don't get into it.
But
not on
so
television.
you got to figure we're dealing with the BIA police that's helping in this issue as well. They are definitely making things difficult for us as well.
They're intimidating tribal members.
Yes, they are, and so. We've reported them, and the one of them has been removed from our reservation.
Mm-hmm.
But it took almost a year to get him away, and so these are the issues on a small Indian reservation. Is we're dealing with level of corruption from the government. Many levels, and now we're dealing with the corruption of a magistrate, and so a lot of people would give up or say, you know what, from what I've seen in the past, they were like, you know what, that's too much, and but for us, it's like, let's keep going.
You even got in trouble for fighting her father.
Well, you know, it's again, you know, it's dealing with the high level nuclear waste, which
right.
We were in battle for 7 years, and the research for that, the things that we had to go through. I was shot at, my son was shot at, my nephew was shot at on the reservation. We had our vehicles destroyed. And and continuously being followed around. But that's the, you know. So now what we're dealing with it's like, you know what, been there, done that.
It's the nature of the beast.
Let's go. And so we're not going to stop, folks. And all of you guys out there that are watching in Indian country and other people from the outside looking in, this is a serious issue. Because of the precedent that can be set, so we're definitely not going to stop. You know, our reservation is too important to us.
So I'm thinking, I got a voice in my head that says, saying, and I know who said it to me: "The government giveth, and the government taketh away."
To me personally, I think that's the issue here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's tear apart this tribe and let's do away with it. And it's not going to happen. It's not going. our treaty was signed by Abraham Lincoln, which is pretty cool. And we're going to hold to it. We're going to hold to it, and we're going to make the Department of Interior hold to what they're doing. Somebody has to.
Wow. Sammy, I've known you for a long time, and I know you don't stop fighting. So, I mean, I would hate to be in a fist fight with you.
7 years for the nuclear issue. So we're just getting started with a year and a half on this.
Do you think there are other small tribes that the very same things are happening to?
Definitely. Our Utah is 5 tribes, and all of them have issues, and many of them are in this federal court system as well. And so, we're going to keep going. And I'll tell you what, us natives in Utah, we're not going to mess around. We're going to see it through.
What do you think is the ultimate goal of why they're trying to do this to tribes?
Well, I've talked to many tribal members about that issue, and a lot of them say the same thing. You know what? If we can dismantle one tribe, we can cause corruption. We can go in there and literally say, you know what, your tribe is you're unstable, I think the word is called. And so I'll tell you what, they can say what they want, but it's still our tribe and it's still our land. And, we're still Goshutes out there. And it's important to us. We battled with the nuclear waste issue, and we are a small tribe. We won that. And so something like this, yes, we're not going to stop. We're going to keep going.
So, Sammy, can you give us some kind of a website or something that my viewers can go to and get a little more information about this?
We do not have one set up because this is a new issue.
Okay.
And so we're kind of waiting for the appeals to come about. That's why I was saying today that once that comes up, if he wants to come bring me back, I will update all of you folks on what's going on. And hopefully then we can have a structure or something that we can do. This is a new issue for us, a new law case, and yeah, we will see it through. And if we have to flip into a federal court, well, we'll definitely try that as well.
So this is a new issue for your tribe. But what I'm thinking, Sammy, because you think back 50,000 years, the arrival of the European in the Western Hemisphere on our lands, their practice was genocide. Physical genocide, paper genocide, biological genocide. So this, to me, in my opinion, my small opinion, is that this is no more than the continuation of the genocide that started 500 years ago.
Well, the way I see it is any opinion is not a small opinion, valid opinion. And that's why from the nuclear issue to this issue, we did have to change our tactics. We did have to change our strategy. Mm-hmm. And because it's a new issue, it's a new type of weapon, if you want to call it that. Mm-hmm. And we adjusted accordingly. And yes, we did. I have to continue to say this. We did do our homework. We did do the research. I did the research, a lot of it, but wow, there's a lot of reading, folks. And this is not new to me, and we have the documents that prove that we are in the right.
Sammy, I have a friend that I think you need to talk to with the Native American Rights Fund, NARF, Echo Hawk, and John?
I do, and his brother.
Oh yeah, Larry. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know both of them.
And his father.
So what I'm going to do tomorrow, I'm going to get on the phone and call those guys and see what they think, because they should be able to try to put some more starch on this so it can stiffen up where the world can see it.
Yes. The Echo Hawk family is well aware of Skull Valley. They also helped out other tribal members with the nuclear issue, believe it or not.
Okay.
So yes, the Echo Hawk family and the father, they are well aware of what's going on in Skull Valley.
Okay. Well, I got a lawyer here in D.C. that fights for Native rights, and he's done a lot of pro bono work, and he's been very effective. He's been my friend about 25 years now.
Wow.
So we're gonna call him and talk to him tomorrow.
Yeah.
If I, well, I don't know whether we can go see tomorrow or not.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But anyway, Sammy, any thoughts you want to leave with us tonight?
Well, the only thought I want to is, again, what happens to us happens to you. Just to put it bluntly, and it's a precedent that could be set. We're going to do our best not to have that precedent. And so, I know the tribes are in court doing their thing, trying to not let a precedent be set, because what goes on your reservation could happen to us on ours. So I guess we're all fighting. We're all fighting for our rights. We're all fighting for our land. We're all fighting to at least have our treaties being upheld. So when you guys are on your reservations fighting, we're on ours as well fighting.
Okay.
And so hopefully we can all get together and meet in the middle. Hopefully
Somewhere. Yeah. Thank you, bro.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I hope.
We're going to take a short break and come back. And I'm going to come back with my conclusion on tonight's show. Don't go away.
Are we off?
Yeah, for right now. That was a very interesting conversation that I just had with my friend and my brother, Sammy Blackbear. And I want to thank him for having the patience to deal with it. However, I have a few closing thoughts. But before we do these closing thoughts, I want you to watch this clip. However, America has never lived up to its full pledge to be fair and equal to everybody. Our people went through some mess, and they're still going through it 500 years later. Native people gone through genocide after genocide after genocide, physical genocide, genocide on paper, and all other kinds of genocide, biological warfare, smallpox. But still we're here. And like the great African-American writer, Maya Angelou, always say, and still we rise. However, here in Washington, D.C., so that's where I'm at, there was an act of sedition when Trump's supporters, encouraged by him, did a treasonous act by seizing the United States Capitol, the seat of power. They broke windows. They had firearms. The FBI managed to find 2 explosive devices. But now we are at a dilemma. What do we do? Where do we go from here? You see, all white people are not bad. Just like all natives are not good, all black people are not good. So where do we go from here? Hopefully we'll have an opportunity to be much better as a country, as an entity where everybody will be recognized for who they are and what they bring to the table. But this mess that happened in Washington, D.C. today broke my heart. How dare you, idiot in the White House, encourage people that support you only because you have been lying to these people about this election. You know, so just because you lost the election, you do not have the right to involve innocent people into your mess. I've said it from the beginning, you're a damn crook. And for this act today, you should be tried, should be taken out and arrested for inciting this riot. Nobody in this country deserves this kind of behavior only because your ego is saying to you, I lost. Yeah, you lost, dumbass. You know why you lost? Because you, first of all, you weren't qualified to be the president, and secondly, you didn't do a good job. I remember before you ran for the presidency, you tried to build a casino up in Massachusetts, right close to the Wampanoag people's lands. You tried to get them disenrolled. You tried to take their money, not their money, but you tried to take their land from them. But they took you to Supreme Court, and you lost. So, you know, the best thing for you to do is just give it up and go back into that dark hole that you crawled out of. And that's the way I feel. I don't apologize either. America, there's a serious problem. And with this president that's still sitting in the White House occupying space, if you're a half a shade darker than him, if you're black, if you're Indian, if you're Latino, if you're anything other than what he considers to be white, we've been in trouble for the last 4 years with him. And I'm happy that the 2 senators in Georgia won those seats in Congress. So President Biden will have an opportunity to do some good things for we the people, all the people, not just a handful of people that you choose. Because now he's coming into a House of Representative control, House of Democrats, and now a U.S. Senate control, democratically controlled. And maybe he'll be able to get something done. Unlike how they tied Barack Obama's hands. So what I'm saying to you and saying to America is Rome was not built in a day. And we need to be patient. But we also need to stay on anybody else that's coming into the leadership of this country. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, we need to stay on their cases. But we don't need to go in there ridiculing them and pointing fingers at them. They have not started that presidency yet. You have to give them some time to get their feet on the ground. And if they don't do the job, you have an option in 4 years to vote them out. But I pray to the Creator that will get better in this United States of America. I'm Jay Nightwolf, and thank you for being a part of this broadcast tonight, because you're the most important part of it. My guests are important. But it's more important to have you out there supporting this broadcast. So I'll say to you in my grandfather's words, it's not about the color of your skin or the color of your eyes or the texture of your hair. It's not about the clothes you wear. It's not about that deity that you pray to and call God. Do you know what it's really all about? How you treat my heart. Until next Wednesday, Danada Goai Wado.